All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. This is a presentation on passwords and password managers. This is actually for my NMSU ICT 350B Introduction to Personal Information Security and Privacy course, but I think it'll be useful to anybody who's looking to get some information on how to secure yourself a little better with passwords and by using a password manager. So So the agenda is the introduction. What's the big deal? How complex do they have to be? How do I manage it all? How do I keep the manager safe, password manager? And then final tips and takeaways. So we'll go ahead and move forward with the introduction. So cyber attacks are becoming a daily reality and they affect people's businesses, schools, and governments around the world. Our increasingly digital lives mean that more of our personal information, our finances, our identities are all stored online. And it's happening more and more that more data is stored online. And AI has made cybercrime easier, allowing attackers with less technical skills to launch increasingly sophisticated attacks. They call them script kiddies, who have very little knowledge, but they're able to launch these complex attacks using AI. The motivation behind most cyber attacks, it's shifted away from curiosity and notoriety like what it used to be to more financial gain because they're able to defraud people. They're able to install ransomware and steal people's identities. And all of that equals financial gain for the threat actors. And cyber criminals don't just target large corporations, they actively target everyday people because they have weaker security practices. It's just an easier target. And passwords are one of the most common attack vectors, making poor password habits an easy opportunity for attackers. Security awareness and education are among the most effective ways to reduce cyber risk, and many people believe that they're too busy to learn the basic cybersecurity practices. Simple habits like using unique passwords and a password manager can lessen your chances of becoming a victim. All right, so what's the big deal? Cybercrime is one of the fastest growing forms of crime, costing individuals and organizations billions of dollars every year. Victims can lose anywhere from a few dollars to their entire life savings in just a few moments because of these fraudsters and scammers. A stolen identity can be used to open credit cards, finance vehicles, obtain loans. They file tax returns and claim unemployment. They do so many things, and they do it all in your name when they steal your identity. And recovering from identity theft takes thousands of dollars and so many hours. You could spend hours and hours, day after day, and still not have made any progress in trying to reclaim your identity. And the process can overall take months, years, and in some cases, it never fully gets resolved. Personal information stolen in one data breach can be bought and sold repeatedly on underground criminal marketplaces on the dark web for years. That means that even after the first time your identity is stolen, they can buy your information again and steal it again and again. A single compromised password can provide attackers access to your email, banking, shopping, healthcare, and social media accounts, especially if you reuse that password across multiple platforms. And the emotional toll can be just as significant as the financial impact. It causes stress and anxiety and a loss of trust. It's really nothing to be fooling around with. So how complex do they have to be? Password length is one of the most important factors in resisting brute force attacks. Every additional character dramatically increases the number of possible combinations. A long memorable password such as Superman is real is typically stronger and much easier to remember than a short random password like the one that's shown there on the screen. The Superman is real. If you notice that, it uses a couple of different random special characters, but really because of the length of it, that's what makes it so difficult for that one to be brute force attacked. And extremely complex passwords often lead people to write them down and put them on sticky notes or store them in a text file or email them to yourselves. And that just creates an additional security risk. Modern password cracking tools can test billions of password guesses per second against stolen password hashes. So they steal the database of passwords, and then if they have that database, they can run it offline and just keep on trying over and over again until they get the password. So short passwords can be cracked quickly, while long passwords may take, they say, thousands or even millions of years. With the current capabilities of systems. That is changing, but for right now, a longer password certainly does make it a lot more difficult. Complexity still matters, but length matters more. Combining uppercase and lowercase letters, numbers, and symbols with a longer password provides the strongest protection. Passwords shouldn't contain easily guessed information like your name or your birth date or your pet's name or common words found in password dictionaries. Every important account should have its own unique password. If one website is breached, unique passwords prevent attackers from accessing your other accounts through credential stuffing. So what they do is, if you use the same password and they get into your email account, then they will try your email username and password on every website that they can think of, any of them that they think that might have a stored credit card. So they'll go to Amazon.com. They're going to try your same email username and then the same password. If it's the same credential, they're going to get into your Amazon account. They're going to place orders using the credit cards that are stored. They're going to order that stuff to either abandoned houses or to any location where they believe that the package will be left so that they can go pick it up. And the easiest way to use long, unique passwords for every account is with a password manager. It eliminates the need to memorize dozens of passwords. So, how do I manage it all? It doesn't really have to be frustrating. This can be a really easy process. Password managers allow you to create and store long, unique passwords for every account without having to memorize them. You only need to remember one strong master password while the password manager securely stores the rest of them. Most password managers can automatically generate passwords that are far stronger than those that people typically create on their own. And the autofill features and the synchronization across devices make using the strong passwords easier than ever. The NIST's digital identity guidelines recommend allowing the use of password managers and support copy and paste password managers because they help users create stronger and unique credentials. And there is a potential drawback. If someone gains access to your master password, they could potentially access your password vault. And the benefits outweigh the risk, though. When protected with a long master password and multi-factor authentication, a password manager is significantly more secure than reusing passwords, creating weak passwords, or writing them down. For most people, a password manager is one of the single biggest improvements they can make to their personal security, cybersecurity. Now we'll talk about how you keep the password manager safe. You use a long, unique master password that's easy for you to remember, but it's never been used on any other website or service. You can enable multi-factor authentication on many password managers. And you can configure the password manager to automatically lock after a short period of time to reduce the chance that you walk away and somebody else gets access to it. And you can protect the device that stores your password vault Full disk encryption, such as Microsoft BitLocker, helps prevent an attacker from accessing your stored passwords if your computer is lost or stolen. Turning on BitLocker is so simple. I'm going to show you right now how to turn BitLocker on. If you just hit your search bar down at the bottom, just type in BitLocker. Once that's opened up, right on this screen, it'll have a section right here that says turn on BitLocker if it's not already turned on. If you don't have BitLocker turned on, you should definitely consider turning it on. There's a way to back up your key to your Microsoft account. It's just so valuable to have BitLocker turned on. That means if somebody gets your computer, they can't look at your hard drive. Be cautious when relying solely on browser-based password managers. If someone gains access to your Windows account, they also gain access to your passwords. A dedicated password manager typically provides an additional layer of protection because it has its own master password that's separate from the password for your computer. Once again, that having your computer protected with BitLocker can protect against that. Anybody who has average computer knowledge can take a Windows computer that doesn't have BitLocker installed on it, and they can change the password for the user account, and that'll get them access to any passwords that you've stored in your Google Password Manager. So Google Password Manager can be convenient, but it just uses your Windows password to block it, and that is easy enough for somebody to reset. Keep your operating system, your browser, and password manager up to date to ensure that you receive the latest security patches. Back up your information and store your emergency recovery key or recovery information. There's a way that you can store that for just about any password manager. It'll give you an option to print it out or to store that information. And if you forget your master password and you don't have a recovery method, you can permanently lose access to your password vault, and you'll have to manually reset every single account password, which could be a real pain in the butt. All right, so the final tips and takeaways. Use a unique password for every important account. Never reuse your passwords across websites. Prioritize the password length over unnecessary complexity. Long, memorable passwords are easier to remember and significantly harder for threat actors to crack. Use a reputable password manager to generate, store, and autofill strong passwords. Protect your password manager with a strong master password and multi-factor authentication. Keep your recovery email account especially secure, since it's often the key to resetting passwords for your other accounts. So if somebody gets your email account, if they're able to compromise your email account, a lot of times that's going to give them access to a lot of other things, because they'll be able to go in and say, I forgot my password. And then when they enter your email address, if they have access to your email account, then it'll send a link for them to reset the password for your bank or for your 401k account, for all of that stuff. Your email account is one of the most important things for you to keep secure. You enable multi-factor authentication whenever it's available, especially for your email, banking, and financial accounts. For my Gmail account, I have it set up with a security key. You can buy a security key on Amazon for about $30, and you can set up your Google account with that, so that it requires that security key to be able to log into a new device. Never share your passwords or respond to unsolicited emails, texts, or phone calls asking for your credentials. If you're getting messages that pop up on your phone that say, here's the 6-digit authentication for your Microsoft account, then that's a good indication that someone might have your Microsoft password. Go change that password. Don't respond to any of those messages. Don't give that message out to the numbers out to anybody, but go change your Microsoft account password if it says that it's your Microsoft account. Cybersecurity isn't about being perfect, though. It's about making yourself a much harder target than the next person. the less of a simple target you are, the less likely that they're going to go through the headache of trying to get you. They'll try to find somebody else who's an easier target. All right, that's what I've got. My name is Matthew Cardinal, and again, this is for the ICT 350B U70 class at NMSU. And portions of the text and images included in this presentation were created with the assistance of Google Gemini and OpenAI's ChatGPT. And of course, all of it was edited and reviewed by me. I'll include this presentation with any video copies of this, which has all of the prompts that I used with AI. Thanks again for your time. I hope you have a safe and secure day.